Hi, this is Tion Woods again. This is part 4. See the smile on my face? Finally, we got into week 8. Star Wars start in a few days. Um, what I learned this last 2 weeks, very important. The reading was very interesting. We were at Xander's book, The Art of Possibility. Giving yourself an A was a very interesting. It blew my mind. The chapter talked about allowing yourself to give others A's. I really enjoyed that book. It talked about different ways of thinking. Talked about the connecting the 9 dots. That was very important. I really enjoyed that part. The lines, thinking outside the box. Too often we allow others to put ourselves in the box, other people. Being a leader, we shouldn't do that. We need to lead by thinking outside the box. I'm an outside the box thinker. I like to think I don't tend to follow the crowd. I do things a little bit different. And that leads me to my next point. With my project, trying to get buy-in, trying to get one of our projects during week 7 was looking at shared vision and addressing fear of change. So as a leader, the way I would address shared vision, I talked about find out what's important to people. It's very important. In my situation, we're a stroke center, so I know that's important to maintain that certification and to grow as a stroke center. Stroke is very personal to me. So if you get employee buy-in, which is very important, employees, they do better when they feel like they're part of a team. Isaac, in one of his books, he talked about inspiring a climate of quality. The way to do that, you have to find a way to connect to your employees. Your employees may like, Google has a very nice way of doing it. They have game time on Fridays. I've been told this, I don't know how factual this is, that they have free thinking time where they can actually think about other things. They don't necessarily have to do their work on Fridays, not sit down and be rigidly attached to a desk. Duke has a great way of medical school. Duke actually, for the 3rd year, is a research year, which they're actually not in classes. They're not running around doing the same rigmarole as other places. So getting employee buy-in is very important. Find out what's important to them. For my clinical project, I know that stroke is very important to my facility. Being a stroke center, managing those change. Fear of change is it's almost a debilitating thing to some people. The way I adjust change, you find out, you first address the rumor mills. You need to let whomever know, whatever you plan to change, what your intentions really are. My project, I'm seeking to create a way to reach out to the rural health settings and help them better manage patients, especially African American males over the age of 65. Dwelling my study down to that, my clinical scholarly project. So that's what I seek to do. In the military, the way we address change, we have there's an open door policy, but of course, like any organization, there's a chain of command. So you don't immediately go from the bottom to the general. You up channel things to your next chain, whether it's the staff sergeant, master sergeant, chief in the Air Force, or lieutenant, captain, colonel, and so on. But you're up channel things. But there's an open door policy. You can always come in and say, hey, is this really true? Should I be concerned? Organizations that are like that, I've read from my research, there's a lot more trust with those. One of the earlier papers we read, I think in the first 2 weeks, we talked about the vulnerability of a leader, being vulnerable and being able to empathize. I think that's very important. And we also looked at finding out members that need to be involved with our project. We talked about the 6 cycles of vulnerability. These cycles include being vulnerable, taking risks. You must take risks. Stretching the organization capacity, living the new reality, whatever that change is, evaluating the results, and cherishing the new knowledge gains. So some of the concerns with my project, I talked about, fear of risk taking, fear of failure, and fear of the unknown. This is new to me, like many members in our class. This is my first DNP. I don't know about any other members. My first undertaking of a doctoral program. So of course, in our area, there's been exponential growth within medical technology. So am I behind? Has there been a study? So I just got to do the research and find out, is there a study like this already been done? Can the study be replicated? Am I adding knowledge? We looked at also about the DNP essentials. It's important to advance the nursing practice, right? Having this scientific underpinning or advancing scientific knowledge. So that's very important. Also, we must look at integrating the advancing innovation, integrating the mission and the visions and the values within the innovation paradigm, assessing community and team needs, evaluating organizational structure, supporting organizational process, and measuring the results. Those ways to integrate a strategy and make sure they're successful. In week 8, our final week, we looked at change, drawing on our experiences and managing change. Some of the things that we also looked at, the mystery of that everything we need to know will present itself, right? Some of the things that I have a surgeon, he always say, if you wait long enough, the infection will present itself, right? The infection will have to declare itself. Same thing with change. We also got one of the readings in our book was looking at the renewing the spirit of leadership. It's very important to do that. Looking at chaos, the compensation of ignorance, very important. One of the points they talked about, the ponder, was about truth. Truth is a journey, not an event. Honor those who are seeking truth and avoid those who have found it. In this DNP process, one of the things I've learned, I know I'm a little long-winded tonight, the more I read, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. I think Albert Einstein said that. The more I learn, the less I realize I know. So that's very important. But so far, this process has been, it's really good for me. I'm really enjoying myself. I'm learning a lot. It's a lot I did not know about leadership. 8 weeks ago, I thought leadership was leading a bunch of guys to, to do what needs to be done. It's actually a lot more than that. And it's not a simple process of thinking you can lead. You have to be, like I mentioned in the past, you have to be a follower to be a leader. You have to be empathetic. You have to be vulnerable. You cannot present this superhero mentality and think that's going to suffice. It's not. So again, thank you, Dr. Betzel, for this time. I enjoy this. This concludes part 4. I learned a lot, and I really appreciate it. A few more days, I'm going to go see Star Wars. Have a good day.